So property plant equipment, they are simply named as PPE. Okay? So PPE stands for property plant and equipment. They are assets, and they are in a durable nature. So they can be used for more than one accounting period. So they are also called long-term assets. Long-term assets. Okay. You probably are more familiar with the name fixed asset. Fixed assets. 固定资产. No? No ideas? Okay. All right. So property plant and equipment. There are some characteristics. One is used in operation. So they must be used in the operation. For example, in Asian University, so what PPEs are used in the operation? Almost everything you can see now. For example, this one. Okay? And this, the projector, and the tables and chairs, they are used in the operation, because this is the education institute, right? We use these PPEs for education. So they are used in operations and not for resale. Not for resale. Okay? And what else? Long-term in nature. So they can be used for more than 1 year, more than one accounting period. Okay? So for this one, probably can be used for more than 5 years, maybe 10 years. Okay? So they are not intended to be, resale. All right? And what else? Possess physical substance. You can see them. You can see them. All right? Some other long-term assets, they don't have physical substance. They are classified as intangible assets. Okay? So intangible assets are also long-term assets, but they are not in the same category of people and equipment. Okay? So I can say every company more or less has PPEs. Okay? In Asian University, there are not just hundreds. I believe there are thousands of PPEs. Okay? For some companies like TSMC, Haijian in Taiwan. Okay, Haijian is making the chips. The chips for
the iPhone.
iPhone, and even
That's the smallest chip in the world. Right?
In the world, yes. So the one factory works for more than like $100 million. So some companies have a big chunk of the PPEs. I mean, big chunk has very high value PPEs in the total assets. Okay. So therefore, how to maintain, how to manage the PPEs is an important issue in the business. All right. So nowadays, I believe most companies with the high value of PPEs, they have their own fixed asset management system. So have you ever heard about the fixed asset management system? Fixed asset. They have a system, to manage the fixed assets. For example, in Asia University. So we use one fixed asset management system. Okay, so the systems that everyone will key in all the PPE purchased. Okay, so all PPEs will be all in the system. So the system keeps all the records, all the details of the PPE. All right. So whenever the actually the system can print out, the barcode or the QR code for each items. For example, I believe these tables here or chairs here, there is a barcode or QR code. Look, like this one, generally you will see a QR code stick into the items. Okay, so when you scan it, then the QR code will bring you to the details. Okay, so the system will keep the cost of the PPE and where it is located and who is using it. Okay, and who is responsible for the item. Okay, and also how many years for the depreciation and all different kind of details. Right? So this fixed asset management system is quite popular nowadays. Okay, but with the records, the school also has to do the physical inventory, physical check whether these assets are in the place. Okay, so each item's asset has assigned one person to be responsible. All right. So for example, in my office, all the equipment. Okay, in my office, I will be the person to check the items. So every year I am required to check all the items. If the item is still there, then I will do the check. Okay? So the work for the checking is spread to persons in the university. Alright? So that is one of the control, the custody for the assets. Understand what I'm saying?
Yes.
Okay. So for the accounting aspect, so the important thing is to how to record these assets into the book. All right. So therefore, okay, so under following the IFRS, so we are using historical cost to measure, to record all the PPEs to the book. All right. So how much to record into the book? Okay, the general rule here says the purchase price. How much you paid to purchase the PPE, and plus any necessary cost to bring the asset to the condition or the location, for its intended use. Okay, for example, if you are going to purchase a computer, all right? So the purchase price of the computer, plus if there is a transportation cost, delivery fee, that can be a part of the cost of the computer. All right, if it is necessary to prepare the assets for its intended use. Okay, and that's okay. So let's look at some of the items. So in general, costs include the purchase price, right? And also non-refundable import duties and non-refundable purchase taxes. That's trade discounts and rebates. All right. So the price you pay, the actual price you pay. Okay. Not the also it can also include duties or tax that cannot be refunded. So they can be part of the purchase price. But if there is any discounts or rebates, they should be deducted. And anything, costs attributable to bring the asset to location and condition necessary for its intended use. All right. And how about the subsequent period? So the historical cost is when we purchase it, and accountants will have to decide how much is the original cost of the asset. All right, but later on, because these assets are used for long term, right? So the subsequent period, how do we measure those PPEs? There are two methods. So you use either cost method or fair value method. So cost method is the original cost. Okay, you still use the original cost. And the other is the fair value. Fair value generally is used for in the case that you are going to evaluate the asset. Okay, but the common method is the cost method. The cost method, right? Let's look at some example. For example, land, cost of land. All right? All expenditures made to acquire land and rated it for use. All right? So what if you purchase a piece of land? Okay? Let me ask you the question. If you purchase a piece of land and on the land there is a building, but you are, purchasing the land to build a new office. Okay? So the old building on the site is going to
Increase.
it's going to be removed. Okay? So the price for the building and the land total is, let's say, assuming it's $1 million, it's $1 million, okay? Including the building has a value of, let's say, 50,000, okay? So do you record 1 million to the land, or only record 950,000 to the land?
1 million.
1 million. Yeah, I think you are right. Yes. Yes. So that is how we say the purchase price include all expenditure made to acquire the land and rated it for use, because you are going to remove the building and to reconstruct a new building, office building. All right. So even though you pay 1 million for the land and the small building, but the cost will be allocated to the land. All right. All right. So the cost of the land can include purchase price, and if you are going to pay closing costs such as title to the land, or you also have to pay attorney's fees and recording fees. So they are all a part of the cost of the land, because it is a necessary cost to rate it for use. All right. Some others like costs of grading, filling, draining, and clearing. Okay. And what else? Okay. So pay attention to this one. If you assumed any liens, mortgage, or incumbents on the property. Okay, for example, the transaction condition is that you will have to pay some of the unpaid taxes. Okay. So after you purchase the land, it's for 1 million, but there is an additional condition is that you will have to pay the unpaid tax, so that you can, fully get the possession of the land. All right. So the unpaid tax can be a part of the land cost as well. So you understand what I mean? Okay. All right. And what else? If there is additional land improvements that happen in indefinite life. So generally, land is regarded as having indefinite life. They are not subject to do depreciation. So all PPEs except for land are subject to do depreciation. Okay, we are going to talk about depreciation later. Alright? The land, no depreciation for the land. Alright? So if you have additional land improvements that also has an indefinite life, and then it can be a part of the land cost. Okay, go ahead and get it. How about that one? Is it yours? 那个不是你的吗？
不是，那个等一下给科主任他的，谢谢。
哦，所以是放那就好了。
嗨，谢谢。
All right. How about improvements with limited lives? So when we talk about land improvements, there can be private driveways, okay, on the land, and private driveways is created, and walks, fences, parking lots, okay. So those are regarded as having limited lives. So you will have to report them separate from the land, even though they are built on the land. Okay, so these items will be classified or use the account improvements, land improvements for the reporting. Okay, so you follow. So if you purchase the land, the cost you will have to decide. Okay, and anything added into the land, then you have to identify whether those improvements are having limited life or unlimited life. If they are unlimited life, they can be a part of the land cost. If they are having limited lives, because they are subject to depreciation, and they will be recorded as land improvements. Okay? And how about land acquired and held for speculation? Okay. So sometimes companies may acquire land, but it's not going to be used for the operation. So how are you going to classify or report the piece of land? Elvin. PPEs. Okay, the characteristics, one of the characteristics of the PPE is they are used for the operation. And what if you purchase one piece of land, it's not going to use for the operation. You are going to hold it for a while, probably until later the price goes up, you're going to sell it. Is it PPE? No, it's not. You're correct. Okay? So that can be recorded, classified as investment. Yes, that's true. How about if you are a real estate?
Real estate.
Yes. Real estate purchase and sells land, right? So if you are real estate, so how are you going to record the land?
Real estate. Also investment?
It will not be investment. It will be inventory.
Why inventory?
What inventory? Because real estate sales, purchase land and we sell the land. Alright, so that can be the inventory, not the investment or PPE. Okay. How about building? Okay, the same here. The cost of building can include all expenditures related directly to acquisition or construction. So building, you can purchase building or construct your own building. Okay, So if you are constructing your own building, the cost of the building will include materials, labor, and overhead costs incurred during construction. Alright? So if you purchase a building, so the cost would include the purchase price. But if you are construct your own building, so all the costs directly relate to the construction will be a part of the cost. Okay, so those costs could include Brian, two Brians, right? Okay, it's Brian. So what do you say?
About what?
Huh?
About
About if you are going to construct your own building, all right? So the cost of the construction, you know, directly relate to the construction will be a part of the cost of the building. So what are the costs? What are the costs could be? It's there. All the materials that you put into the construction, yeah, and also include people you hire to do the construction, and also, yeah, some other overhead costs. So do you know about overhead costs? Overhead costs. Some, you know, for example, that's tools, right? So you need not only materials and labor, then you probably need some tools or some equipment, you know, to do the construction. Okay, or probably some people, not direct labor. They are all, you know, overhead costs that can be a part of the cost of the building, right? And for professional fees and building permits, all these are the necessary costs. All right. What else? Equipment. The same here. Equipment include all the acquired purchase price and necessary cost to prepare it for use. All right. So equipment can include purchase price. If you have the freight and handling charges, like transportation costs, that could be a part of the cost of equipment. And insurance, and some assembling and installation costs. Okay, so all those costs are necessary to prepare the assets for its intended use. So they are all part of the cost. All right, that is the general.